So the claim that I'm going to be refuting is Edwards, and Edwards not here. But his claim was that passing Bill S978 will cause more harm than good to probably the general public who upload things on YouTube or other websites. And his secondary claims were that the bill would target many average users of the internet due to its loose definition of public performances through electronic means, and that the bill will affect the music and gaming industries, and that the bill will cause some job loss. But I'm actually going to be responding to his claims and hopefully proving that passing Bill S978 will not affect many or any average users or workers, and that the gaming and music industries will not be negatively affected. So his first secondary claim is that the bill will target many average users of the internet due to its loose definition of public performances through electronic means. And he stated that YouTube channel owners who upload videos of walkthroughs, playthroughs, or any adaptation of any copyrighted works would be liable to get fined or jailed. But the bill actually states that a person can be sentenced up to 5 years in prison and fined if they break a copyright of 10 or more times by electronic means during a 180-day period. But he also forgets to mention that that there is also the total retail value or economic value of such public performances to infringer and copyright owners would have to exceed $25,000 or $2,500. So that actually means that though someone can upload 10 or more times during a 180-day period, they won't actually be liable to get fined or jailed because they actually have to be making money off their videos. And most YouTube people who probably put up like playthroughs or walkthroughs for games are probably not getting paid, and if they are, they're most likely part of the YouTube partnership program that I'm actually going to be talking about after. But so most people shouldn't be afraid that this bill is going to cause them trouble. But the secondary claim that he makes is that the bill will affect the music and gaming industries negatively. And he says a lot of people who make walkthroughs or cover art of songs give free advertisement for each respective industry. But most people know that YouTube is one of the main sites that people go for music. And YouTube actually gives full songs online for people to just listen to, and most people pirate those songs. And I feel like passing the bill S978 will actually help those artists and those music industries because people will not be able to take as much music as they probably can now, I guess. And I also found that Minecraft developer Notch wrote on his Tumblr that if S978 actually passes, that he and probably other companies will add a clause to the Minecraft user agreement specifically allowing user gameplay videos. And so that means that his company and other companies will actually be giving rights to people who want to make walkthroughs and playthroughs for games. And so they can't and they won't be charged with this bill if this bill gets passed because they're actually getting permission to do this. And the second point actually also depends on the fact that the music industry and the gaming industry actually even need or want the free advertisement that people give. I'm assuming that if someone puts up a song or a video that is negatively reflecting the music industry or game industry, that's not going to be free advertisement that these industries actually want. So his third secondary claim is that the bill will cause job loss. This point actually didn't really make sense because he actually just talks about the YouTube partnership program, and he only states that about 20,000 partners in 22 different countries are part of this this program. But he doesn't say like how that will even really be a big deal. These people are already under the contract with YouTube, and once they're part of this YouTube program, they're allowed to make money, so the bill can't harm them, and they're allowed to upload as much as they want because it's okay for under the contract that they have. And a really important requirement that the YouTube partnership program actually needs for people to actually apply to this is that their videos have to be 100% original videos. So they can't use any music, background music, or take anything from other people unless they have permission, or then they probably don't. So they just use their own original ideas and anything else to make their videos. So they can't be charged with anything because they're not using any copyright infringements. And so I feel as if that passing Bill 97A will actually not negatively impact the music and gaming industries, and that people will not actually have any job loss in the YouTube program that Edward mentions, and also that average users will not be targeted by this bill.
All right. All right, you state all the advocates' claims very clearly. There's good signposting throughout. On the first point, I understand the argument saying, in essence, that they're unlikely to be getting the amount of money that would be necessary in order for them to be enforced against. So I thought you explained that pretty clearly. So that's an exception to the sweeping generalization that the advocate is presenting. On the second point, you in essence are arguing that there ought to be some financial cost to people pirating this music, and that's exactly what it's for. So I think that that's an interesting twist on the argument. The significance of it is never really as clear as it could be. And I did think that the argument that you had that says, and for the other folks, like the game designers, that they would simply modify their agreements so that people could do the playthroughs or walkthroughs or whatever they call them. You've got at least one example that says that they would be willing to do that. There's no reason to think that others wouldn't, but, if this argument was going on further, that might be an issue that we'd come up with. Well, the third point got a little bit confusing because when you talk about the YouTube partnership, it sounds like they can only use this as long as it's all original programming, which doesn't sound like it applies to anything that's being talked about here. So I'm not sure if it applies to the advocate's argument, it applies to your argument. It just wasn't very clear to me. All right, thank you.